franchises here, bud.
All right, gang, I got a new job. Started it yesterday. Already want to kill myself. So I want to start off the podcast. If I get 10 new patrons, patreon.com/the franchise, I will immediately quit my job and record a podcast for you every day of my life, no matter what you want to hear. Anything. All right. This morning on my way to work, my Uber driver at 4:15 in the morning was talking to me about Andrew Tate and how he's a god and alphas. You got to withhold from women. That's what he was telling me. And he was like, so what do you do? I was like, I have a podcast about Sex in the City. And he didn't like that. I was beta. But that's what we're going to talk about today. Here, I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. I'm a Miranda. And over there, we've got Logan B. Adair, my co-host.
Yeah, welcome back to the XY and Me podcast. I'm your favorite queer, non-binary, Mexican, Irish diva, Logan B. Adair. How you doing?
A.K.A. Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, Jesus. I don't think that you can be an alpha if you're an Uber driver.
Well, this guy, he was an alpha.
No offense to Uber drivers.
He says, dads, it's like they barely pay attention to their kid. They're trying to show them something, but then you look over, you're like, oh, yeah, that's great. And then go back to what they're doing. He's like, that's how you got to treat women. The bare minimum of attention. And then
why? What's the reasoning?
Because then they come crawling back. They crave the attention.
But then eventually,
this is at 4:15. This is at 4:15 in the morning. I almost rolled out of the fucking car on the highway. I wanted to die.
I understand that reasoning, play hard to get a little bit to get the woman, but once you're together, then do you start paying her more attention, or is it sort of the same thing?
You got to do that forever so that she doesn't cheat on you.
That would make her not cheat. Show her no attention.
That's right.
Okay. Anyway, we have a guest this episode.
Yeah,
I'm a Carrie, by the way.
You are? You are a Carrie. Carrie thinks she could do fucking anything.
Well, she can. So.
All right. Let's bring him in. We have my favorite guest, probably. We used to host We Love Kids movies together on the Patreon. And now here he is back again after winning a Steven Spielberg poll thing. And we're talking about Sex in the City with Tim Holland. Shut up, Tim.
Shut up, Tim. And I'm Charlotte, obviously.
You are a fucking Charlotte.
By the way, I have to say both of you are incorrect about who you are. Dan, you're such a Samantha and all super horny. And then Logan.
I love fucking.
And Logan, you're clearly baby Samantha's horny dog.
I like that. No, because then is that just like you're tying me and Daniel
How do you
together?
know the name of Samantha's dog?
Because, spoiler, that's my MVP.
Oh my god.
Movie.
MVD.
If your MVP of all of this is not Carrie all the way around, I don't know.
You like Carrie?
God.
Carrie he's the worst character.
He's gonna be with fucking Carrie like he is with Buffy on the Buffy podcast.
I just think Sarah Jessica. Well, I think SJP might be my SMG. Maybe I think she is the MVP of every single one of these.
Hey, I have to say, this Andrew Tate conversation you had, Dan, made me realize that Logan definitely follows that method. He on Letterboxd, he's withholding. He is giving 2001: A Space Odyssey 4 stars, Apocalypse Now of 4 stars, being an alpha, being like, I'm not going to give a 5-star a classic movie. I'm only going to give it 4 stars.
You know what I did this week?
Work harder.
I came out of Oppenheimer. I gave it a 3. You know what I did the next day? Bumped it up to a 4. I thought I was wrong, and I changed my mind. And I did the same with 2001. That's a 5.
That movie's a fucking 3.
Apocalypse Now. When I watch that again in a few years, I'll give that a 5. The real version.
Hey, listen.
Until then,
Oppenheimer was an important man, as was this upcoming senator from Massachusetts. Goes by the name, Kennedy? John F. Kennedy. Yeah, I believe that's his
bad.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were setting up the Oppenheimer cinematic universe.
Yeah. We're gonna see Kennedy next.
Have you seen it,
Wow.
Tim?
No, I haven't seen
Oh, you're
it yet.
spoiling it. Come on, Daniel.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no.
what a
Hey,
spoiler.
all I need to know is this is my one prediction for Oppenheimer. When they announced there's a sex scene in Oppenheimer, does Oppenheimer have sex? And when he's about to nut, do they cut to the A bomb?
No, they don't. They don't. That would have been good though.
Yeah, I would have done that. That's how I would have directed it.
By the way, Tim, you say that you're a Charlotte, but Charlotte says she has sex 3 to 4 times a week, and famously, you have sex 1 time a week.
Friday night.
11:30.
Yeah.
Should I edit that out?
No, that's good. That's good. That's we love kids movie.
That's canon,
so,
baby.
yeah. That's just like how Dan is Samantha because he jacks off right before every podcast.
Come on, I don't.
I don't.
Sometimes in the
I wish
middle,
I had
too.
time to. Listen, we're talking about Sex in the City today. First, we watched the pilot episode of Sex in the City. You know, give a little context for old Logie boy over there.
Or Logan. That is not what the show is. The
No,
pilot
but
is
it's
so
great.
different.
But it's great. That's my favorite scene in Sex and the City history. Iconic. Hashtag iconic.
Tell me.
Oh, baby. The last scene, Logan. Have you ever been in love? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, yeah, he loves Big.
Who do we learn
Incredible.
who he was in love with? Was she an important character? Was it like
Yeah, he has
Charlotte's
he has
sister?
he has like an ex-wife or something.
Okay.
Anyway.
I thought that was actually really cool. She was doing all this like cool empowerment stuff, and then she realized like she'd never been in love. It sort of like rocked her whole world. I did kind of like that.
See,
Yeah.
Tim.
Did
It's not what the show became, but if you've never seen what the show became, it's still a pretty good pilot.
And like how everything came together, how like Samantha wanted Big, but okay, why is he called Big?
Oh, great question. We'll find out, I think, in this adventure.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they say it in the pilot. I mean, he's
No,
like,
they don't. They're just like Mr. Big over there.
yeah, well, that's why she says he's Donald Trump, but more attractive. So she calls
And
him,
younger.
Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Like
What does
Mr.
that mean,
Big
though?
Shot.
Oh, like Big Shot. Okay.
Yeah,
You want to know if he has
But why
a
does
large
that
penis.
stick? That's weird that sticks.
that's his name for the entire series until the last episode.
I know until
when-
he died.
No,
Of
You
the real series, not
the last episode of the original series, he calls her up on the phone in the last moments, and she looks down at the phone. We see it says John, and you're like, oh my god, his name's John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a reveal. It's like Cosmo.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a big deal. And Logan, what you don't
Wow.
know as being a kid, this is like one of the pillar stones that made HBO like such a channel.
I
It
know
was
that.
this
Come on,
and
come on.
Sopranos, but also like Mr. Big was a pop cultural icon. Like he was like the Kramer of
the
Sex and the
Kramer,
City.
stop it.
I mean,
He was the Don Draper.
okay, he's a
Okay.
Don Draper, but I'm just saying, like the Fab Four is Charlotte, Samantha, Carrie,
And Ringo.
Charlotte, and
Miranda.
did I say Miranda? Yeah. They were like a big deal. Like they were forward in all the promotion. I think like they were like the hottest thing HBO had for a while. And you watched a lot of things that I don't think really justifies that these weeks. So
I think you're full of shit, and I think Logan's gonna like some of this stuff more than you're expecting.
well, I hope he does because I have to say this. I was a fan of the show. I watched every episode and went to the first movie premiere night. And
I went
much
to the
like
second movie premiere
yeah,
night.
you have mental issues. First movie was what's interesting is kind of like a Barbie of its day because it was such a movie to go to. People were going out having cosmopolitan drinks,
Yep.
right?
I
Before-
did. I before the second one, I went out for Cosmos.
I literally I went on Friday. as I was there in the theater, I was one of two men in a packed theater, Logan. Also,
it was all like groups of women
Yeah.
friends.
yeah, and they were all like four groups, and they all thought they were one of the Fab
Well,
Four.
and that's why the end of the movie is so good. The first movie, when it's like it pulls back on New York, and you see like all those groups of four friends.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there's a million. Like
We're-
these are just our four, but there's tons of them.
Yeah,
Guys, all
you're-
over the city.
We're all Carries or Samanthas or
Yeah.
Charlottes or Mirandas. I will say this. I had a really funny experience at the movie theater. When we saw the movie, they started playing it and they projected it incorrectly, so it was full frame rather than widescreen. They didn't like
Oh,
lower
no.
they didn't lower, so we could actually see like boom microphones and stuff at the beginning. And then the women in the theater were crazy about this. They were screaming, "Change it, fix the movie, fix the movie." And then like, so I went out and talked. I went out because I was working in a movie theater at that time. I'm like, "Hey, you're projecting it wrong." So they fixed it, and then I went back in, and then the women were chanting, "Rewind the movie, rewind the movie, rewind the movie." And of course, it was projected on film at that point. So you can't rewind a movie once it starts because you have to go all the way through to back then. Now you could like rewind a normal projection. So, or a digital projection, I guess. So
Now
that
you
was
just, like,
my.
hit a button and it starts over.
And-
You can't rewind Oppenheimer, gang.
Nope, you can't do that. And then there's no trailers because it's too big.
What are you talking about? I saw trailers.
You saw the
70
little one. No
millimeter.
wonder you didn't like it.
Oh, fuck off. I'm not going to see it in fucking 70 millimeter or whatever you
I
want
saw it in
me to
IMAX.
do. I almost just waited to watch it on my phone in defiance of that asshole.
Yeah, while driving.
Why do you
the
hate
other-
movies, Daniel?
Yeah, he really does.
Nothing is gained.
I've said this
By
before,
the
but you only like
screen.
movies about like poor people falling in love and kids fucking each other.
He
That's
also
like
doesn't
your vibe of movies.
No, I like all kinds of movies. I just think that no matter what screen you watch it on, it has the same quality.
It doesn't have the same effect.
It does.
Definitely not. I mean, some things are meant to be enjoyed in a giant screen.
Oh,
but
fuck off.
whatever.
Yeah, they're meant to be by some pretentious asshole.
I'm
but
really
you-
glad that
Look,
Tim
if a
told me to go
movie-
watch Avatar in
Listen,
in 3D IMAX. At the
If a
movie theater.
movie does not work on my 60-inch TV, then it doesn't deserve to be watched.
I'm just saying, like for the example of Avatar: Way of Water, I think that movie works on a small screen, but seeing it in 3D and IMAX is a different experience, and like it blew my daughter's mind. Like she like really
Yeah, but
likes
she's
movies
like
now because
she's
of it.
like a dumb kid with a tiny little brain.
she's like
Sure.
11 years old or something now.
12. She's 12.
She's
And yeah, she's a dumb kid with a tiny brain, but what's your excuse, Daniel?
Fuck off. All right,
You got it. You're just an old guy with a dumb brain.
I'm setting my ways. All right.
Yeah.
You really are.
Oh, the last thing about my Sex and the City movie going.
I don't even know
experience-
why you're telling us about this. We got to talk about the TV show first.
Well, hold on. I just want to tell you because I'm finishing my story. I was working at a local news station at the time, and the lead newscaster knew I was taking off the day to go see Sex and the City, the movie. And on the newscast, Logan, they were covering people seeing Sex and the City on the news. That was like how important it was. And they were like showing footage of people having Cosmos at bars and stuff. The freaking
I actually watched that footage, but I watched on a small screen, so it wasn't good.
Oh, well, local news. Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got name checked on the local newscast. It said Tim Allen's out watching Sex in the City right now.
Name check is called out. That sounds like called out.
You should have dumped your wife on that day. The pussy never would have stopped.
Yeah, it was really yeah, that's what happened for sure.
Oh, all right, Logan. I mean, whatever. The first episode of Sex and the City, the show's created by Darren Star, the same guy that created Beverly Hills 90210. And the pilot's directed by Susan Seidelman, who's one of my favorite filmmakers, who made Smithereens, a 5-star
my
movie.
gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
As well as Desperately Seeking Susan and She Devil, some other good stuff.
Is Smithereen about poor people?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's amazing.
Oh, all right. Logan, I don't care what Tim had to say about this. What did you think of the pilot?
I thought it was okay. I do want to say a few things that we do on the Buffy show. I like to talk about IMDb. I went through every season of this show. There are, I think, 94 episodes. 7 of them are above an 8. That's not very good.
Maybe the show just has like a tough fan base. Like if you go and watch The Shield, that's like one of the best shows ever made. But on IMDb, all the episodes are like 6.2s.
You like that show though?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was all right. What? So do you like it? Tim doesn't like this?
Look, it's not what the show became, and I think anytime anyone talks to the camera, it sucks. Like I'm like, Carrie, talk to your friends. Don't talk to me.
So
Yeah.
I know why they had him talk to the camera, because popular on HBO at the time was Real Sex. And they were like capitalized, and Real Sex, they would do interviews in New York of like, hey, you ever had a threesome? And there would just be 2 people being like, oh yeah, we want to try that or whatever. And so I really feel like they tried to put that in the Sex and the City of being like, oh, let's keep it sexy here. But yes,
Going for a doc style, but
yeah,
like,
documentary
whatever.
style, and like, of course, the show is based off a book. And so that's kind of like where all the naming conventions come from and everything. But and Logan, the TV show, the creators really wanted to keep it real. They only wanted to tell stories that actually happened to the writing room. That was one thing.
Yeah.
Promote a lot, and then you'd be like, oh, I wonder which person was Matthew Broderick.
Has there been like a tell-all or whatever you call it? Oral history? That's what you call it.
Oral history,
Where they go
Yes,
into like
Samantha.
where they go into who
That's
who
my
did what.
favorite genre.
That's
I
what
was
I hear.
thinking-
Is she your OVP? Why are you doing
No,
that?
I love Samantha. I love Samantha.
Well, I love
She is
Samantha
very
too.
acting. She's
She-
the acting. She's acting
she-
the most of everybody.
Oh my god! if you don't think Samantha's MVP, it's crazy. She's the best one.
I think Sarah Jessica Parker is really good.
Nixon.
I Nixon is unforgivable, but I'm tainted by it just like that. Like I retroactively hate Nixon now for everything that has happened in Just Like That. But I will tell you, I will tell you.
By the way,
this,
no spoilers for season 2 of it Just Like That on this podcast.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
I
you're
think
a
that's your
jerk
fault
because
for not being.
you're supposed to
caught up.
watch it live with me, Daniel. I'm
No,
gonna
I
tell you
wasn't.
Y'all were
every-
planning to podcast. I remember this.
We were going, yeah, and pod
What?
like that.
I remember that. Tim brought this up.
I don't remember that at all.
Did you say in pod like that?
And pod like that, yeah.
That's great.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Logan. What are your other notes on the pilot?
Oh, I didn't take any notes.
Skippy.
I wrote
Shout
my
out to
IMDb
Skippy.
thing. I wrote, why is he named Big? Who's Skipper?
I'll tell you, Skipper is the LVP of the whole first season.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real chick.
He's like, I love first seasons of shows with like one bad character where they were like, all right, maybe let's not use him anymore. Like the West Wing. They had like that Moira Kelly character in the
she
first
made it
season.
like
and-
4 episodes.
No, she's in the entire first season.
Oh,
And then she disappears off the face of the earth, never to be mentioned again. Mandy.
yeah,
Okay.
well, it's a good. Skipper is like that too. I think him and Miranda break up, and then we never see Skipper again.
Because we got to make room for this guy, right? Hey, Miranda.
Oh yes. I like how he talks in Just Like That, where he like is, and now I talk like this because my like teeth don't move for some reason.
Oh, Steve?
Yeah.
I like Steve. Are you guys
Steve,
making
you
fun
should
of him?
like. Steve
No,
is
I love
good.
Steve.
Yeah.
Listen,
Justice for Steve.
Listen, Miranda. It was just once, okay?
Yeah.
All right?
And you got that
Forgive me,
bush. What, you expect me
please.
to go down there? That was
Come on.
crazy. That shot of the bush.
What? You never saw Bush like that?
It was just crazy. It was just like shot of like a crazy push.
We're just randomly talking about parts now. That's so good. I gotta say, I love Sex in the City. I think it's a fun show. I absolutely love And Just Like That, and I think it's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. But it's like a car wreck.
You do
And
love it. You're very.
I love it.
consistent.
It's my like literally. It's every day I look on the Max app to see if there's a new episode. I don't know what days they come out, but the days when it is. And Just Like That day, I'm so happy.
I came up with an alternate title for And Just Like. By the way, that's a thing she does all the time. She says And Just Like That.
Yeah. And the reason they changed the title is just like a royalty rights reason, because they rebooted it and they didn't want to just call it Sex in the City and make it like the next season.
Well, I have another
because
title.
then they would have to pay like whoever royalties, like Darren Star, the creator, would get royalties, but now they made a new show that's a spin-off. They don't have to pay as much. So that's a legal loophole.
All right. Well, my pitch: cut Charlotte out of the show. Call it Hobbs and Bradshaw.
Pretty good.
You like that?
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. That's pretty good. But
Sign
can you
me the
imagine?
check.
I got to tell you right now, I don't know if I could stick with a show that had no Charlotte in it.
Really?
because
You love her that
You're
much?
out of your mind. I would watch a Miranda solo series.
You're insane. You like Miranda in Just Like That?
I always like Miranda.
She's good in the show.
I don't want to see her with Che, and
Well,
I obviously
get ready
hate
for
that
season
Steve's
2.
not around anymore because Steve's my favorite character in Sex
Wait,
and the
Miranda
City
and
history.
Che?
Stop interrupting my
time
incredible
together?
Steve impression.
I'm sorry. You really confused me. They start hanging out, Miranda and Che.
Yeah, Miranda divorces Steve.
To be
For
with
Che.
Che.
What? No way.
It's insane. There is one episode in Just Like That where, no kidding, there's a 15-minute section where Che does stand-up, and it's clearly not written by anyone who's ever done stand-up before.
Or
And she
perhaps watch stand-up before.
Oh, definitely not watch stand-up. Like, and Just Like That is great because you can tell all the writers have never understood what reality is.
Nobody has listened to a podcast ever.
No one. They're so rich they don't understand how things work, and it's just like, yeah. So in one of the latest episodes, Carrie gets fired from her podcast for refusing.
What the fuck is this?
She refuses to read one ad read. Spends the whole episode rewriting it into her voice. No, it was like a pill that like
I'm gonna fucking hang up. I'm serious.
Okay, all right. Let's stop.
Okay.
Right.
Can I tell you what the thing was?
I ranked whose plots I liked the most from everything we did watch. Can you want me to give you that from the show?
You're gonna say Carrie, and it's insane.
Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte.
Sex in the City is a lot like Ally McBeal and or Dawson's Creek. These are shows where I hate the main character, but I like everybody else.
She's not my favorite character. I just think she's the best actor.
Ally McBeal's the best character on Ally McBeal.
She is not even close to the best character.
Who the
I
fuck
like Josh.
is? I mean, Richard Fish is pretty good.
Fish is great. I also like the other guy who's the assistant in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
I like Lucy Liu. I like Ellen's girlfriend.
Jane Krakowski.
Not her. No, Portia de Rossi.
No, I'm saying a different character.
Jane is great too. See, everybody but Ally McBeal.
Everybody, including Ally McBeal.
Robert Downey Jr. is great.
Yeah, for that one season before he fucking relapsed, they had to write him out.
Good, he relapsed. If he hadn't, we would have never had Iron Man and never would have had Spider-Man.
And Oppenheimer, a 4-star film.
I would have had I would sacrifice Iron Man for a better ending to Ally McBeal. Is that okay to say? All right, listen. Fucking. All
right, it's 2:30. We have 4 things to cover. I give it a 3. My MVP is Sarah Jessica Parker. My LVP is Skipper.
Right, that's correct.
That's about right.
By the way, when do they meet all their husbands and stuff? When does that happen? And how does that happen?
Throughout the
Harry,
show.
yeah, Harry comes
Obviously.
in like season 4 or 5 because
Harry-
before that she's with
Who?
Kyle
Who's Harry?
Harry.
Harry
Charlotte's
is Charlotte's
husband.
husband,
Okay,
the
I didn't know
bald
that.
guy.
But he's
What
bald.
do you
His
want
name's
me
Harry
to
and he's
say?
bald.
You
That's
asked
funny.
me about the husband.
I didn't know their
characters.
names.
I
I
named
just
one of them.
I didn't know his name. But that's funny.
Okay,
His name's Harry.
You
and
just
he's bald.
spent 5 hours watching this fucking shit.
I guarantee they never say that guy's name.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you they say it many times.
Yeah, she said,
Really?
yeah, Charlotte, even in what you referenced, Charlotte said she has sex with Harry 3 times. And then
Oh.
and then they're like, and this week Charlotte had sex with Harry 4 times.
I
And
like
that's
that
when-
moment.
And that's when she got pregnant, bro.
Yeah,
Did
and
you
she's
know?
like, "Should I
Oh,
worry about Harry being with the hot babysitter?"
Yeah.
That's what,
The one
Come
from
on.
before we
babysitter
go.
with the booze,
Harry,
but
Harry-
don't
I can
worry.
even tell you Harry Goldenblatt. They say his last name in these movies.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah,
Charlotte,
because he changed it, or she had to change it because
she was worried about getting hate crimed in the Middle East, which
All
is
right.
probably
By
smart.
the
Fair
way,
enough.
yeah, absolutely the smartest thing Charlotte did in either movie.
Yeah,
All right, listen.
least smartest thing was opening her mouth while taking a shower in Mexico.
Oh no,
What do you guys
Okay.
give it?
the
3.
pilot.
Yeah.
Give it a 4.
You didn't watch it, so what do you know?
I watched
But-
this. I didn't watch it just like that.
I watched it. I'll give it a 3.
All right, there we go.
I'm going to tell you the show is better.
The show's
Overall.
great.
Yeah,
6
the show is worth
seasons,
watching. Yep.
never gets bad. Solid show.
Better than Friends.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect you to say that.
That's interesting. I think more consistently better. Yes.
Yeah, consistency for
What
sure.
about Seinfeld?
Hey, at some point in the show,
They're so
Samantha's a
different.
lesbian. Logan.
Yeah.
She wears a strap on at one point.
Wait, who?
Charlotte-
What did you say? Who is?
Samantha.
Samantha.
Charlotte dates the guy from Twin Peaks, Kyle MacLachlan, and
He can't get it up.
he can't get it up. But then she walks in on him jerking off in the bathroom, and she's like, "What's the deal here?"
What was the
Yeah.
deal there?
He likes big boobs.
Yeah, he likes
He's just like Bryan
Brian Cranston and Larry Crown.
He
I knew
loves
exactly what
large
you were going
knockers.
to say. Yeah.
So she actually Harry is Charlotte's second husband. All right.
Yeah.
Carrie was engaged to Aiden, who you met in the Middle East.
Mhm.
And then they broke up because he was too, like, he loved her too much. This is why I think Carrie's a shitty character. Is
Yeah,
Aiden
he
like
was
That
so
alpha
clingy.
guy was
person?
right. You gotta
He was
like
too
not show him
nice
so
to
much
her.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, she wanted to get with a total asshole, which is Mr. Big, who cheated on her multiple times in the series.
You guys
Fuck
like
that
him
guy.
though?
Love him.
I don't know.
Really?
I'm so glad he dies and just
Oh,
like that. It's so
I
awesome.
laughed so hard
It's
when they
so
said it, just
funny.
like that. Big died. I
Yeah.
laughed so
It's
hard.
so good,
It was
right?
so
It's
funny.
so funny. It's so funny because also when he died and just like that, he got in real life he got canceled and the
what?
stock of Peloton went down because Big died. So
What did he do?
what did he do?
He didn't
What-
do anything.
What-
He,
He got
Everybody-
canceled. What did
this
he
is
do?
Dan who
What got him
doesn't.
canceled?
He was
He
inappropriate.
flirted with a
people.
person at work.
Is that true, or do you look that
Yes.
up, or you just assume that's
That's definitely what happened.
okay? All right. Well, he got
All
so
right.
canceled that they took him out of the show. So, I thought it would be worse than that.
I
Wait.
don't know.
Logan or Daniel, do you think that Woody Allen just flirted with someone at work? Is that
No, Woody Allen's cancellation is deserved. Probably should have happened sooner. I'm not like one of these people that's like, oh, cancel culture. Like I support all that shit, but
You
like,
just think Aziz, like people like that?
yeah,
they
like
deserve
fuck,
it.
I don't think we should be canceling people for fingering people too hard.
Tim, you
What about-
listened to the podcast. Did you like my joke when I said Aziz, I'm sorry? That's like one of my best jokes I think I ever
yeah,
made.
that was really good. Sorry, I didn't text you. I was probably doing something.
I was
but,
waiting all day.
did
I was like,
laugh.
oh, Tim's gonna love that one.
Yeah, I did like Aziz. I'm sorry. I agree. Aziz was like a bit much. We were kind of over, but now, like, like Dan, how do you feel about jacking off in front of a person? Should that be cancelable?
I saw Minnie Driver recently, like
Here's the thing about the jacking off in front of people thing.
We're talking about
He wasn't
Louis
famous.
CK.
He wasn't famous yet. It's
So?
much worse if there's a power imbalance.
I don't know if that's true.
What are you apparently he's jacked off in front of a ton of people. Like Sarah Silverman said, yeah, it's no big deal.
I
He's done it to
have.
me too.
Everybody's jacked off in front of a ton of people.
But in public, at
It wasn't
comedy
in
club?
public.
It was in a green room.
It was in a
comedy
public.
club.
Look, I'm not saying it was a cool thing to do or anything,
All right,
but like
I'm just asking.
ultimately,
All right.
whatever.
Did he finish? That's the real question.
Yeah, of course he finished.
Yeah.
All right, send him to jail. All right, let's move on to the movie.
No.
I have so many more notes on the movie.
Yes, let's go on.
All right, so the movie directed and written by Michael Patrick King. He was like one of the top, like Darren Star kind of did the pilot and then pieced out of the show. Michael Patrick King was the showrunner for a large portion of it, wrote all like the really important episodes.
He's a gay man, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
lives in the Greenwich Village.
Okay.
And the
That makes him
movie,
gay.
yes.
No,
The movie,
I only
What?
asked. I only asked because the show is kind of like was one of those early gay friendly shows in far as representation. I just think in the prism of watching it today, Carrie says a lot of homophobic stuff, especially in that second movie.
but gay people said a lot of homophobic shit back then.
Yeah. I'm
Gay
just
people
saying.
kind of hate gay people, to be honest.
No, they don't. It's just that's
Some
the
gay
way
people hate other
people
gay people.
talked back then. I hate it. It's like erasure. Like when people fucking said shit. Like if I watch a movie from the early 2000s and someone calls somebody a retard, I'm not offended. People talked that way. It's
Yeah, well,
accurate.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in the prison of today, it's interesting.
I would
Back
argue
in
it's
the
not
day.
interesting.
What my point is, I think the show was better back then. Now they are like super woke on and just like that, and you just got a taste of it, Logan, with X, Y, and Z.
There's
or whatever
no politics on the original show. I mean, like Big, I don't even think we ever find out whether he's a fucking Democrat or a Republican.
Oh, come on!
Like he's gotta be a Republican, but they
He's
literally
Donald
never.
Trump.
But they never have one fucking conversation about politics.
Yeah,
And let's not forget Donald Trump was once a Democrat.
He's too busy fucking. That's why.
Yeah. All right. So the movie comes out May 30th, 2008. It was like 4 years after the show ended, I think. And a budget of $65 million. And it was a huge goddamn hit, a phenomenon.
Logan,
I remember thinking there'd be a Sex and the City movie like every year in perpetuity. Like the second one, they lost so much goodwill.
it was it's insane. Logan, do you know why they made the movie after the series ended?
To make money? I don't know.
It's because the audience wanted more.
What?
I don't know what that is.
You didn't get that joke?
No.
No, that was like their big promo for the show. Was they would sing that song more. How do you like me? What do you like me? You know that song? Sorry,
I don't remember that.
I
ever
text
being
you
a
that.
thing.
I text you that exact same joke, and you laughed at it in the freaking DM the other day.
Did I?
So I assumed that
Said
would work
more,
this
more,
time
more?
too. Yeah, I said more.
We
Never
just
mind.
thought you
Cut
were
that out,
weird,
Logan.
so we laughed.
Cut that
at
out.
it.
Don't cut it out.
Cut it out. Bleep it all.
All right, so it was a huge hit. It came in at number 11 at the box office for the year, right in between Horton Hears a Who and Gran Torino, and
Two classics.
two classics. At Teen Choice Awards, it was nominated for Best Chick Flick, but it lost to 27 Dresses. And Sarah Jessica Parker lost Best Actress in a Comedy to Elliot Page for Juno, and I think she was robbed. They shouldn't be giving Best Actress awards to men.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty fucked up.
It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
People's Choice Awards, it was nominated for Best Cast, and it lost to The Dark Knight. And it was also nominated for Best Song from a Movie. I think it was that Jennifer Hudson one from the end.
Oh my
But it
God.
lost to some from Mamma Mia. Anyway,
Good. Mamma Mia is a much better and gay-friendly movie than Sex and the City.
I would argue the first Sex and the City movie is a better movie than Mamma Mia.
I disagree strongly.
I
Meryl
saw
Streep in overalls. That's all I got to say.
I saw that you gave this a 2
Yeah, it
on
is a 2.
Letterboxd. That is not a 2.
You gave it a 4 before you hit
I'm gonna
it.
drop. I'm gonna drop. I'm dropping to a 3. I'll say
It
that
was
right
a
now.
4 when
Is
I
this
looked.
better
It
or worse
wasn't-
than The Best Man?
The original Best Man,
Right.
worse.
Well, we know it's worse than the sequel, Best Man. You love that one. So this is worse than The Best Man. Okay.
This
the
movie,
original Best Man.
I never
I would
saw
argue it's a better reboot than the Best Man: The Final Chapters.
Sex and the City 2 better than, you're saying Sex and the City 2 is
No,
better than
I'm talking about Sex and the City 1 only.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Logan, why don't you tell us what you thought?
Okay. Well, I have a lot.
Here's
of
what we'll do.
questions.
Here's what. Let's hear the questions. And you said you ranked the storylines, so
Right.
that's how we'll do it. We'll go through each
Ooh, okay.
person and what they were up to in the movie.
All right. Well, I have a few questions. First of all, Big, Mr. Big.
Mhm.
Is it a common thing to write your wedding vows the night before your wedding? Tim, I guess you're the only one who's.
He had writer's block.
Yeah, he had writer's block. I feel like I definitely did like revise it, but I definitely waited till the last week, just being lazy, to write my vows.
Okay. All right.
so-
So maybe more common than I think.
Hey, Logan, I really feel like the movie also kind of represented like 3 to 4 episodes of the show. Like, I feel like the pacing of the movie,
Oh, more
You
than
can-
that.
you can see where it's like, it's like a compressed season, to be honest. This
Yeah,
first
no,
movie is a
absolutely.
season.
It's the length of 5 episodes of the show.
Yeah. It's
And
5
and that's really what it is. It feels like half a season of Sex and the City.
Yeah, because it's like a year, right? The whole movie takes place over a year or something.
Yeah.
Like they're broken up for 6 months or something. Insane.
It takes place over more time than most
Charlotte
seasons of
gets
Sex and the
pregnant
City.
and has a baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Good old Rose. What do you
Yeah.
think of that baby?
Rose
Logan?
fucking sucks.
I don't
Dude,
hate Rose. Why do we hate Rose?
you kn-
Because she's
yeah,
annoying
what-
and
Won't
cries.
stop
Yeah.
crying.
I think Dan hates Rose because of what happens in And Just Like That.
I don't remember what happens in that.
Well, Rose, of course, becomes non-binary.
oh,
Like
that's
Doc.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
I understand not wanting to get married and not showing up at the wedding, but why does that mean that you guys have to break up?
Listen, he didn't want to break up. He was like, "Listen, I'm gonna stop her limo right now. Get out on the street. We're gonna talk about it, all right?" But then Carrie, yet another of Carrie's brash decisions that she consistently makes, she like yapped him in the head with flowers, and that was it.
Yeah, this is why Carrie is like the worst character. Also, like all of that could have been
The
avoided.
worst character.
Character. She, you know what? Carrie Bradshaw, right? I thought instead of hitting him with the flowers, she was going to give him a clothesline from hell.
Oh, because Bradshaw. That's good. I liked it.
You're so funny, Tim.
Yeah, but like, where was her cell phone? Like Carrie, like we
It's
see
just,
in
you know
everything
what?
we watched-
Samantha's last name should be Farouk.
Yeah, that would be good. A little A and A,
APA.
APA. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really, Carrie, if she would have had her cell phone, it would have been no problem. He just needed to be talked to.
Oh my god! Listen, her whole relationship was ruined by Charlotte's dumb adopted kid. All right. This is why you don't have kids. You don't keep kids around adults. You certainly don't have kids around on important days. All right? They're going to fuck something up.
Well, I gotta say, Big was looking for any excuse if he let the little kid like.
But listen to me. Big Big was trying to get in touch with Carrie, couldn't. All right. Then he sees Carrie come out of the limo with that giant bird on her fucking head, and he's like, "Come on, turn around." All he wanted was for her to turn around, but she didn't. All right. Listen, Big called her the night before the wedding. Carrie said like 2 sentences. All of a sudden, Big smiling again. The same thing would have happened if he was able to get in touch with her before that wedding.
And Carrie also knows that, like, she says later on in the movie, she's like, I could tell by he was having a hard time when I talked to him on the phone. Yeah, well, maybe call him the next day to be like, hey, are you okay?
Your fiance is having a fucking hard time with the idea of getting married because he's been married before and it didn't work out. And they were running 25 minutes late to the wedding. Maybe look at your fucking phone, dumb shit.
Well, the kid had it, right?
Yes, but she should have looked like, hey, where's
she couldn't find it. She's like, I can't find it.
Carrie's the worst thing that happened to Big. Like, literally, he's dead because of Carrie.
What? Why? Yeah. Because he's trying to stay in shape?
Yeah, I mean, you blame the Peloton for him. Like,
you blame Carrie?
The Peloton.
No, had they left, instead of Carrie staying to watch that horrible cello recital, he would have like had a heart attack in front of her, and she could have driven him to the hospital. Meanwhile, he's sitting in the shower for 2.5 hours, or however long it takes Carrie to get home from the preparatory school.
Carrie, when he buys her a fucking TV in that second movie, she acts like he's fucking Archie Bunker or some shit. Like, let's just watch. They had a romantic moment less than a week earlier involving
but
watching
then he starts
old
not
movies on
watching
TV.
The black and white movies. Isn't that when she really starts getting mad?
No, she's pissed off the second she opens that. Jewelry might have been nice. How much fucking
she
jewelry
just thought it
do
would be
you
more.
need, Carrie?
She didn't hate the TV. He made it seem like it would be more.
But
special.
it was a romantic gesture. Like, that's I agree. That's total bullshit. Also, as a married man, like, if we didn't have a TV in our bedroom, what the hell are we doing in there?
Having what? What are you talking about?
Other than Friday night at 11:30.
Yeah, exactly. What else do you do other than 11:30, right, on Friday night? 11:30 is really late, to be honest.
It's 10:30. It's 10. Let's be honest. It's 10:30.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, and then like he's like, oh, because I want to watch romantic stuff with you, and then she's like, well, fuck you, our relationship's dead because we have a TV, and it's like, oh my god, get over yourself.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
All right, let's go back to the first movie. Yeah,
wait, so this is your favorite storyline, Logan? Because
he's still on the question portion.
I only talked about the show storyline. Okay, Carrie was my favorite in the show. I really liked the end of the show. I thought that was a good moment.
Yeah, hashtag iconic.
You hate that, Tim?
No, I like the show. I just thought the show is less than what it becomes. Like, it's a total pilot.
It is less than it becomes, but that last scene of the pilot is literally my favorite scene of any episode of Sex and the City.
I agree, but I'm telling you, I am Team Aiden. It's not my favorite season. But it's I don't know about that.
The best season's probably like, I want to say like around 3.
Yeah, 3 probably.
Yeah,
and I'm Team Aiden all the way. So I was not I was not happy she ended up with Big. Like, Logan, literally the finale of the movie is her deciding whether or not she ends up with Mr. Big.
I was hoping she'd end up with Baryshnikov. I like the way you smacked her around.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot he hit her.
Yeah.
I was more like, let her be single. Like, she doesn't need either of these dudes. Like,
no, I'm satisfied with Big at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Samantha, is she much older than the other 3?
Like 5 years.
Not much. Yeah, but a bit.
Okay, because I remember like at the start of this movie, Carrie is in the paper or in like some magazine is like getting married at 40 or something like that. And at the end of this,
then Samantha turns 50 at the end of the movie.
Right. So that made me think, is she like 10 years older than everybody? That's a lot older, I think.
Yeah, I would say she's maybe like 7 years older.
I think they're saying like Carrie's in her 40s, not that she's 40.
Yeah,
like,
but I don't think she's like 48 or something.
I definitely
Like
think they treat
43.
Yeah, I definitely think they treat Samantha like she's the senior statesman out of the bunch, but their
She
gap
had breast
isn't as
cancer.
bad.
She almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that was crazy, and they
I
just
can't
dropped
believe
bad
her
questions.
breaking up with Jared Smith Jared, because fucking he stayed with her through the cancer. He shaved his goddamn head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But Miranda goes into a bar I think it's in Just Like That, and it's called Smith's Bar. And I was like, oh, Smith Jared gonna make a cameo? And then no, he wasn't even. It's not even his bar. I really expected him.
Bummer.
Wasn't there? But all right. So Samantha, she's my favorite of this one. She's got that. She's got
hell yeah.
Smith Jared. She's got the sexy neighbor. But
Sexy Neighbor, by the way, played. He was one of the biological fathers on Switched at Birth on ABC Family.
Also, that sexy neighbor got so famous from this movie, he was on Dancing with the Stars just because he got to be on Dancing with the Stars as the hot guy from the Sex and the City movie.
Well, you do see his sweet dick.
Yeah, you see like exactly like 3 frames of a penis.
I know. They should have shown a full frontal penis. Yeah.
I wanted
it's the fucking
more.
Sex in the City movie.
You get that crazy sex scene of Miranda and Steve.
That is so hot.
That is I've never seen something like that.
I used to think about that sex scene sometimes if I was having boring sex.
It kind of reminded me of that shot from Desperado. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, Logan, in Sex and the City, there was nudity, and I'm here to report that Samantha and Miranda are like the all-stars of being nude on the show. So much so that Cynthia Nixon is almost nude in every single scene of and Just Like That's premiere of season 2. Sorry, Daniel, I didn't mean to spoil it. I forgot.
Well, now I'm gonna watch it.
Also, Charlotte shows her boob one time,
and only one boob,
and Sarah Jessica Parker never nude.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like David Cross on Arrested Development.
Yep.
No, it's her rule.
Did you know that they were married before Sex and the City?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
They were New York royalty, Logan.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So
Samantha, what else we got on Samantha?
She had a dog that humps a lot of stuff, and she got fat. They called her fat at one point. I really think that like there's like tension between Sarah Jessica Parker and I can't think of Kim
Cattrall.
And so much so that's why Kim Cattrall doesn't come back for Just Like That. And I think
the reasoning was that they had a falling out. Right?
But she didn't even want to come back for the movies, dude.
Yeah. They had to pay her a lot because I guess on the show, Sarah Jessica Parker always got paid more.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone loves Samantha.
Don't give Kim Cattrall shit. She just wanted equal pay for the 4 ladies.
She deserved it. Like, she has an interview about And Just Like That. And she said she would they asked her, why didn't you do it? And she said, I don't want to be in one moment of discomfort for even 1 minute of my life anymore. I have no interest in coming back to And Just Like That.
She also said at one point, like, I love the character, and so I overextended the character already. I don't need to do it she thinks it should have ended with the TV show, and she's probably right.
She's probably right, because I do think that Samantha in the movie is diminishing returns. They find a lot of excuses to bring her back from LA.
I like the sushi part.
The sushi was great.
I didn't love her storyline in the second movie, though. They take away her.
I don't love anything in the fucking second movie.
The second movie sucks. The first movie they do like they're like Samantha's fat and also old. Like she's 50. Like at the end of the movie, I was so disgusted for Samantha, where they're like, "Oh, look, surprise! It's your 50th birthday, you old bag!" And it's like, you're all old bags. What are you talking about? Like, give her a break. Justice for Samantha. I love her. She's the best character. MVP.
But she is though. That's just reality. She is the oldest one.
Yeah, but
They can't
like,
help
why
that.
are they pointing that out? Like, what's the
And ended on
point?
a happy note. It's her birthday. She lived to 50. I probably won't live
Listen,
to 50.
her storyline in that first movie, it's about a relationship that there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but like it's run its course.
Yeah.
Does she ever fuck that hot neighbor?
No.
That's so crazy.
That is
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Why didn't she?
I thought the same thing. Does she
Roxy
still
Giselle did.
does she stay with Smith at the end of this movie?
No, they break up. She's
Yeah,
gonna go
so
be
why
with
didn't- I
herself.
thought it
Yeah,
was-
but
that was
but
crazy.
in the next movie, Smith is still like, "Come to my fucking premiere with me," and she's like,
Yeah,
"That's
'cause he-
fine."
because like he
'Cause
loves
they need
her
an
and stuff.
excuse. The second movie doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, the second movie is obviously a Saudi funded cash grab. It's it sucks. It's so horrible.
I think the second movie is one of the 10 worst movies ever made.
Holy cow. All right, well let's go to the next character, my next favorite, Miranda.
Miranda is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
Steve
of a
cheats
stick up
on
her
her.
butt. Steve does cheat on her, and that's hard because Miranda and Steve are the OTP of the show. So having Steve cheat on her was very hard. And but I'm glad they stick together until and just like that.
Oh, when
What
they
does that
meet
mean?
on the
OTP?
One True Pair. When they meet on the bridge at the end, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice. I like that.
Last time I was in New York, Jules and I we went on that bridge, and it was like, oh yeah, this is where Steve and Miranda met, and also like Spider-Man was here, I guess, at one point.
If you were a better husband, you would have run to the other side of the bridge and met her in the middle.
Oh, we were together the whole time. We never broke up. So,
Yeah, but you
Um,
want to reenact that classic scene.
are you saying Steve is a better husband than me? He did cheat
Yep.
on his wife.
Yeah, but
Tim
she
would
was
never.
like, are you kidding me? When they're fucking and she's like, would you get it over with already? Get
I
real.
mean, that is
They
that
do
is
a good. They
terrible.
do a really good job setting everything up with their relationship. I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about it, but I thought that they did a good job.
Come on, Miranda. We never have sex anymore.
Yeah. I like how Carrie at one point is like, yeah, you should just forgive Steve, and meanwhile Steve cheated on her, and Big just like got cold feet for a second and came back. Like I even
Yeah,
love the
good
moment
point.
where we see Big in the limo as he's driving away, and he's like, oh, what am I doing? Turn around.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, see, he like Big has changed a lot because like the Big in the show is a much bigger shitheel. Then I think he's great in the movie. But basically, in these movies, they have to figure out a way to keep Big and Carrie apart so that there's some like dramatic tension.
Right. Yeah. And part of that tension comes from my second favorite character, Miranda, where she says, "Hey, Big, don't get married because marriage will ruin your relationship."
Yeah, I know. I think Carrie's kind of a dick getting so mad at her about that.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not Miranda's
I don't
fault
know.
you can't keep your
It's
man.
because she kept it from her. She didn't tell her for so long. I understand it.
What,
You know
she
what?
wanted
I do love that scene though on Valentine's Day with the balloons.
The balloons.
Yeah.
Such a good
Yeah.
touch. What do you
Well,
mean, Tim? I think if she had just gone to her and said, "Hey, I said this thing, it might have ruined your relationship," then that's okay. You can forgive her. But when she kept it a secret for 5
But
months
it's not.
or
It's
whatever,
barely a secret.
Yeah,
Like,
when is she supposed
like,
to
if-
tell her
if
when
I'm
she's
Carrie,
depressed and
if I'm Carrie, and like a year later, Miranda's like, by the way, at this party once, I told Big marriage sucks. I'd be like, so?
yeah.
Like,
but
whatever.
it had been beating her up forever. What went wrong? And that's
What
what
went
wrong.
wrong was she didn't answer her phone, or she knew her husband was having a hard time. Like maybe talk to him and
What
comfort him.
initially went wrong and put the thought in his head was Miranda.
What was wrong was
That
she
is
picked
not
Big.
true.
What do you
It
mean it's
wasn't
not
Miranda's
true?
fault.
It's the
It's
whole
not
conflict
Miranda's-
of Miranda
That
in the
is
movie.
not what are you talking about? Then that's like blaming the little kid. Also, like
Wait,
why
I
didn't
do.
why didn't Carrie get upset at Charlotte's child? You know,
She should have.
Charlotte.
Wait, for what
Carrie
again?
is a bad friend because what's the adopted? I can't. Okay, it's
Lily.
Lily
Rose
is
and
the baby.
Lily.
Rose and Lily. Yep. Lily like Big calls Carrie's cell phone, and Lily answers, and Big's like, "Can I talk to Carrie?" And
Oh, right.
Lily's like, "Goo goo gaga, I'm a dumb baby," and like hangs it up, and then he never gets a hold of her.
Right. Why did she just leave it out though?
Why? Oh, yeah, because she's a dumbass. Carrie
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, that's why I haven't mentioned her
No,
yet.
Lily's a dumbass. Lily sucks.
Lily's a little baby with a small brain, just like my daughter, like you said. man. What's your excuse?
All right. Next up is Carrie. She is gonna get married, but then doesn't get married. We already talked about all this, but she has an assistant, Jennifer Hudson. And Tim, you made a noise earlier in like
LVP.
LVP, 100
Really?
times.
Oh my
What does she
God.
call her? It's like the horrible nickname. Like she has an
Louise.
absolute
St. Louise.
St. Louis. Oh, kill me! Like this really does seem like the show being like, we really don't have black people in this show.
Oh.
Yeah, no, 100%. Sex in the City is like Friends, a show that took place in Manhattan, the most diverse city in the country, and just never showed a black person ever. And so, like, yeah, this was them acknowledging that black people exist, but it's the worst character. It's so bad.
Why is she a horrible character?
Because
Bad acting.
she's just there to give advice. Like she has
And
no
find love.
Yeah,
She's
but
the
her
magical-
boyfriend Will doesn't
She's
have
the
a
new
single
Carrie.
line of dialogue in the entire movie, and she's not the new Carrie. Like she's just there. She likes shoes,
I'm going to tell you right now.
and wait, Tim, and like you were saying, Jennifer Hudson. Wasn't she nominated for an Oscar, by the way?
Yes.
Jennifer
Dreamed it.
Hudson can not act.
Did this kill her career? Does she have any other acting roles after this? Because she's
For
terrible.
sure. Of course
Also,
she
her
does,
character is
She acted
that
as David Otunga's wife for a second there.
she is that she is like that magical black character archetype in this movie. And I would argue, does Jennifer Hudson have any other scene with any of the other Fab Four?
So much so that
No.
during the movie I was making jokes to my girlfriend that she's been dead the whole time.
Oh, I was just gonna say I thought she was a figment of Carrie's imagination. That she
Yes!
doesn't actually exist.
She was like so depressed about Big that she hallucinated
That's
a
a
black
great
friend.
theory, and it might be true. She definitely doesn't talk to anybody.
She's
else
not in the
whole
second
movie.
fucking movie. We never see Carrie at her wedding or anything.
And
The only
Jennifer-
person who acknowledges her is her husband, which he
Jennifer-
might be dead too.
David Otunga?
Jennifer Hudson has
Wait,
not
she
appeared
played
on
Aretha
and
Franklin.
just like that.
She played
yeah.
Aretha
She was also in
Franklin.
Cats. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, some acting tour de forces right there, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go, Louise. And last up, Charlotte really didn't do it for me in this one.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong about this because when she shits her pants,
That's
you're-
the funniest moment of the whole movie.
it is actually good.
Yeah,
like-
that's like yeah.
I've
it's a
heard
fun
people
moment.
rip on the first Sex and the City movie by saying like, "Oh my god!" I mean, how low can they get? Like Charlotte shit her pants. But listen, first of all, it's in service of the storyline where, like Carrie cannot see any light in the world.
Mhm.
She is absolutely miserable. I mean, literally, like close the curtains. And the part when she wakes up and she's like, "Was it a dream?" Like
Yeah.
fucking, like she is the
She's-
most bummed out anyone's ever been, and that makes her laugh.
Yeah,
As it
and-
should.
And Logan, what you don't understand is
Yeah.
you haven't watched 6 seasons of Charlotte, who is like the most uptight and
Yeah,
like proper
oppressed.
prim. She totally like she marries her first husband because he's like the typical husband that the type of woman she would marry. That's why her marrying Harry is such a change.
She fights her attraction to Harry for a really long time because like she perceives him as gross.
Yeah, she thinks he's gross at first, but she's super attractive. And then she's like such an uptight, like Catholic woman. And then her even changing religions.
Yeah, baby, come to the dark side.
yeah, she's
She's an atheist now.
no.
No, she's a Jew.
Oh, right. Oh, obviously. I just thought because you were an atheist, because that's what you were saying.
All right.
Never mind. Anyway,
Well, what else happens with Charlotte in this movie?
what else happened?
She gets
Well,
pregnant.
we talked about. Yeah, she couldn't get pregnant, but then she could get pregnant. That's a
Yeah, I didn't love that. Yeah,
She's
I
underserved
thought-
We love
in this
that. That's
movie.
good. She got
But
pregnant.
when they adopt Lily, it's such a nice moment on the show that it's like it kind of dents it a little bit for me. Like, oh, I had a kid anyway. No,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's what she always wanted, right? Like, and like that was what was good in the show was like she learns that like, hey, what I expected, I always wanted, I don't need. I'm
Yeah,
happy
exactly.
with my life, and now this is like, oh, I'm gonna get my cake and I'll eat it too.
Yeah.
Also, Charlotte is really underserved in this. I feel like her only other storyline is that she has Lily with her, and they're trying not to say naughty words in front of Lily, and then Lily says sex, and that's like a big laugh
Right.
moment.
Oh, except she's got a couple of the best moments in the entire movie. When in the street after like the wedding fuck
yes,
up,
yeah.
when she goes like no to Big,
yeah.
that is the best acting in the Sex and the City movie.
And then she says, I hate you. I curse the day you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's great.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, gang.
She's also, by the way,
You know her
just a
from
reminder-
Seinfeld, Logan?
Who's Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is she in Seinfeld?
She's the one who uses Jerry's toothbrush. She uses a toothbrush after Jerry knocks it in the toilet, and then he can't be with her anymore.
Yep.
Okay, I don't remember that. I remember her from
she's
Shark
also-
Boy and Lava Girl, right?
That's what I was going to say. She's the mom in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Of course you remember that.
yeah.
She's married to David Arquette,
Right. Yep.
and they're like having problems.
All right. What are we gonna get? By the way, we haven't talked about the whole movie. I was watching it because I honestly I thought like
The whole
somebody-
movie you were watching it?
Whoa. Wait, are you telling me you watched the whole movie, Logan? Wow. What a hero.
All right. I thought somebody was like playing a joke on me that when I looked at the runtime. So the whole movie, I was like, what can I cut out? What can I cut out if I was doing this? And Tim talked about it in his review, but there are so many montages in this
Yeah.
movie.
This is
And
why
Listen,
I hated
you
it.
could easily make this movie an hour and 45 minutes.
Uh,
But
yeah.
But I really think it's like, oh, we're doing Sex in the City again. I think like Michael Patrick King was so used to like structuring them as seasons that he just did the same thing for the movie.
This is what I'm going to tell you. And Michael Patrick King has no like concept of reality. He's just been rich for too long. So I think he literally just read all the think pieces after Sex in the City ended and was like, oh, people love the fashion, people love the drinking, people love them getting together.
That's the second one. That's the second one.
What are you talking about? There's so many. We see how many different wedding dresses.
Oh, you're right.
remember-
The Vivian Westwood shit. You're
I
right.
remember sitting
And the
in
giant
theater.
closet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
take
remember
or
sitting
toss.
in the theater and being like, wait a second. I don't remember this much like clothes fetishization
Wait, but I liked
in
when
the TV
she-
show.
I like there's not that much. But I like when she was dressed in those 80s costumes and then she wore the outfit from the opening credits.
Yeah. Well, I bet you also liked when they were in their 80s outfits in the second movie. Huh?
I like that when their origin story.
I hated that because it fucked with the canon of the Carrie Diaries.
Oh, what's that? Why didn't we watch that? I've heard of that.
Yeah, the Carrie Diaries is another TV show. It ran for 2 seasons. It was an hour-long dramedy on the CW, and
You
it's
mean
like
the WB.
no, it's like Carrie's life as a high school girl. All right, and so like her boyfriend was Austin Butler. And then in the second season, they introduce Samantha. She meets
Hell
Samantha.
yeah.
And it is nothing like how it happens in this movie.
Why didn't we watch that? Did that not even cross your mind?
It doesn't really matter in terms of this.
All right. Well, I will give it a 2. I'm sorry, Daniel.
What?
But
It
I
is a 2.
had such a fundamental problem with why did they have to break up just because they didn't get married? That made no sense to me. Like, just talk to each other. I thought Carrie was really like
Carrie
making
was so embarrassed because it was so publicized and
That's
everybody
the
was
character.
there. Yeah, she's terrible. She's a terrible character.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave it a 4 originally.
Yeah, because you know what? I'll tell you what. Back then, there weren't that many reboots of ended shows.
Mhm.
And Sex and the City was a show I liked the ending of. So I was really nervous when the movie came out that they'd fuck it up. And I really didn't think it did. Like, I thought it was like a fine extension of the series. And so I was pleased with that. Now reboots are a fucking dime a dozen. They make them every fucking day. There's a reboot of an old show I watch. So like, it's not as special to me.
Yeah, Futurama just got rebooted again.
I know. I can't fucking believe it.
4 times. Here we go.
I looked at the previous franchises that you and Henry covered, and you and me, and only 6 of them were based on a TV show, which I thought there would be a little more. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Charlie's Angels, Mission Impossible, Jackass, The Flintstones, and Downton Abbey. Those are the only ones.
We gotta do
Wow.
Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Adam's Family. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
All right. Sex and the City 2. Let's do this. What'd you give it, Tim?
More,
Did you say
more.
2?
I said
MVP. Sarah Jessica Parker's my MVP. LVP. Who'd you guys say? You guys said
LVP is
somebody.
Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, I'll go with her.
MVP
Yeah, LVP
Samantha.
is J Hud for sure. Come on. MVP, I'll always go with my man.
Steve.
Yeah, you know.
I like that choice.
Well, I think you could consider Baby also. Baby's a good such a
here's
good
the-
joke. They bring Baby back for the Sex and the City 2 movie.
Same
Yeah,
dog?
that's true.
Same actor?
Oh, the
dog?
dog, right? I forgot his name was Baby. But my thing with Sex and the City was always like I was watching it when I was like a high school dude, you know, and I didn't want to feel like some sort of lame-o watching this chick show, guys. But the cool thing about Sex and the City was the dude characters were as good as the girl characters. Big is a great character. Steve,
Skipper.
Harry, fucking
Aiden.
Aiden, Trey back in the day.
Kurt.
Trey
Like,
was good. Yeah.
yeah, there were a bunch of good ones.
Did we ever see
Yeah.
Kurt again? Her ex-boyfriend?
Richard. What about Richard?
Ricard.
By the way,
Daniel.
did you recognize Kurt from all those fucking Hal Hartley movies?
No, is he the guy from the Hal Hartley movie I saw?
Yeah, yeah.
The main guy? That's the guy?
He's like the dude from Trust.
Oh, I didn't see Trust. I saw the other one. Reckless.
Oh, okay. Reckless is not a Hal Hartley movie.
Oh, that's
you saw
that's the
Unbelievable
50
Truth.
Shades of Grey movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's what I meant. But that's that guy?
yeah.
Well, I didn't recognize him. All right, moving on to the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
More.
That's hilarious, Tim.
Tim, did you remember what the tagline of the original movie was?
Get carried away. I saw it on
Yeah.
the poster, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
love
good.
that.
I liked your review.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't
so
get
the
carried
second-
away till the second movie.
You like the second movie?
I don't want to say.
There's a
All right.
podcast called The Worst Idea of All Time. Have you ever heard of this podcast?
Yeah.
No.
What was the movie they watched at first?
At first they watched
Grown
Let's
Ups
edit-
2.
Grown Ups 2 once a week for a year and covered it, the same movie, on every episode. The second season they did Sex in the City 2.
They're pretty similar,
Um,
kind of. Well, there's more racism. in
I'd
Sex
rather
and the
watch
City
Grown
too.
Ups 2.
There's
too,
more
I would-
racism and homophobia in this Sex in the City 2.
Right.
All right. So
well, here we go.
this came out May 27th, 2010. I bought tickets 3 weeks before it came out. And my friend Gallagher and I went out
What?
for Cosmos, then saw the movie opening night.
Hey Dan, why didn't you wait to watch it at home on your preferred screen? Like, why'd you have to go to a theater to see a movie like this?
Just because I was excited to see it.
And
Oh.
you didn't want spoilers.
If it was streaming, I would have.
If it was in 3D and IMAX, you know you would have bought a ticket to that.
Not at all. I avoid 3D movies.
The
last movie-
Miranda's
the last-
Muff would have been in 3D, bro.
I think the last 3D movie I watched was fucking Resident Evil 4.
Mm,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
where they throw the axe in the hallway, right?
I don't remember.
Yes.
I don't know.
Pre-
I've never
pretty,
seen any of
pretty.
Oh, the
pretty-
Axeman, right?
Pretty overrated. Resident
Fuck
Evil.
off. Only by me.
Yeah, I guess so. I just
All
like
right.
the third more.
I know. All right, so this movie they had a bigger budget, $95 million to play with. Didn't make as much money, 294.7. came in at number 33 at the box office for the year, right between The Social Network and The Book of Eli. The People's Choice Awards nominated for Best Comedy, but it lost to Grown Ups. But this was a big nominee at the Razzies this year. All right,
Yeah.
the Golden Raspberries. It was not.
Razzmatazz.
Yeah, it was
All
nominated
we're
for.
asking for is a little pizzazz.
All right, it lost Worst Picture to The Last Airbender. All
Ooh,
right,
that's pretty bad too.
yeah, and it lost Worst Director and Worst Screenplay to M. Night Shyamalan.
Hmm.
Wow.
All right.
I hated it.
But I'll tell you what, Worst Actress was a 4-way tie between all four of the leads.
No.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah, how about
That's
that?
crazy. I disagree
All right.
with that.
And it also won Worst Screen Ensemble and Worst Sequel or Remake. And Liza Minnelli was also nominated for Worst Supporting Actress, but she lost to Jessica Alba, who was in like a ton of shit that year.
I'll tell you right now, you could make an
Stupid.
argument she's the MVP of this
What?
movie.
No, you cannot.
I wouldn't make that argument because her one scene in the movie is fucking embarrassing.
That's
for
when I knew this
everybody
was going to be
involved.
shit. When
Yes.
with her scene. That was so bad. What are you talking about? All right. So
But what
Here
you
we
like
go.
better?
what I like better, well, a lot more stuff. Here's one thing I liked better when Steve said, "Hey, I'm kissing here."
I did like that too. I thought of your guys' show.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. I guess we'll get into the way I ranked them. First favorite. I said I didn't like it, what they did with her character, but it's still my first favorite. Here we go. Samantha. Here we are.
Hey,
All right, so
She's got hot
she had
flashes.
menopause in this movie.
she almost gets lynched for being a woman.
Yeah.
And she's hot, so we see her boobs. She's gonna
Yeah.
date. She's gonna go on some date, I guess. Yeah.
Right, and
it.
and you get to see that guy's boner through his pants.
Yeah. And, oh yeah, I like that part. And she's sort of the reason why they're even there, right? Because of her.
Oh, that's right.
she
Yeah,
did
she
such a
goes
good
to that
job with
premiere,
Smith.
which I don't understand. Like, they're at Smith Jared's premiere, all right, and fucking they meet with these like billionaire Abu Dhabi businessmen, all right, and one of them's like, we're opening up a hotel, a resort in Abu Dhabi. It's gonna be the hot new shit. And instead of inviting Smith Jared, who recently got a starring role in a major motion picture that is showing worldwide because we see a poster of it in Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, he's like, hey, who's your mom? Let me invite her to fucking premiere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's what happened.
I don't understand.
I have a question about this Smith Jared movie. Now, the timing wise, was he filming Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol or Fast 7, 6?
No,
Which one is this?
I think it's
Dhabi.
supposed to be like a lone survivor situation.
Lone surviving survivor.
Very good.
All right. Well, I don't know why I liked hers the most. I guess she just entertained me the most. Everybody else's was just so bad. Like
Kim Cattrall's good and fun, and like
yeah, I think that's what it is.
she really, other than almost being murdered in the Middle East for being a woman, she's less drama than like Carrie.
That's bullshit. When she's like taking off her shirt, like when they're in the market, like they're already ready to get lynched, like they're trying to escape the fucking country, and she's like, oh, I'm too hot, look at my boobs.
You have a great Samantha. I didn't know this.
Hey,
you.
The whole time watching this movie it was like, imagine a movie where Austin Powers meets Samantha and they just both say, oh, you behave, back and forth to one another.
Oh, behave. All right, Carrie next up. Because the other two just have nothing going on.
Well, I mean, we already talked about her annoying shit with Big. That drives me nuts. The TV thing. I mean, they watched it happen one night after the gay wedding, and it was very nice. But then what is her storyline? She like runs into Aiden in Abu Dhabi. Then they hang out. She kisses him. She immediately regrets it. It's cares.
Well, there's one. Go ahead. Yeah.
My favorite part of that whole part was Big being so like, oh, I'm at a gay wedding. This wedding's so gay. I can't believe I'm at a gay wedding.
I got hit on by a man.
Oh, I got hit on at a gay wedding. Like, he never says wedding. He says gay wedding every single time.
Can I talk about the gay wedding a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean, is that Logan's next favorite part? Because
no,
are you right? Do you like Stepford? And
I was it's Stanford. I was gonna wait.
I like Stanford more than the other one.
I was gonna wait till we got to Charlotte because she was like the best man at the wedding. But I'll say Stanford and Anthony. Is that his name?
Wasn't Carrie the best man at the wedding?
Carrie is Stanford's, and Charlotte is Anthony's.
Right. Because he was the wedding planner, and is Stanford in the show?
They are both major characters in the show. They are the two gay characters that recur throughout the entire series.
So obviously they get married forever, even though they hate each other.
That drove me fucking insane because
they hate each other in the show.
That was the thing. Like, they tried to set them up once on the show, and they both kind of got pissed off. Like, why are you setting us up just because we're the two gay characters? You know? Yeah. And like, that was a great episode. That was a funny idea. And now here they are in the second movie. They're actually getting married,
but they hate each other.
Hey, Logan.
Yes.
Logan, do you want to know?
First of all, they're both bottoms. They're both clearly bottoms.
Great point.
Do you want to know what their current relationship status is in And Just Like That?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel does it.
Oh, okay.
Well, Daniel knows because Stanford, the actor, died in real life in the middle of filming And Just Like That, and they had to write him out. And I'm going to tell you right now. They should have just killed off the character, but they didn't want to have two deaths in the same season. So the way they write him out is the most disrespectful thing they ever did.
I don't remember what they do.
So Stanford is like a agent or a manager, right? Like, that's his job. And so he's managing a TikTok influencer who he leaves Anthony for, and they go to Japan. That's the last we've heard of Stanford, and we'll never see him again.
They don't reference him in the second season?
Well, no spoilers, but no, he is not referenced.
Oh my god. Stanford Blatch.
Yeah. All right. How did he die? Do you want to say? Or do you know?
In real life?
Yeah.
I think he died of COVID, to be honest.
Oh my god.
What?
Well, he died in the realm of COVID, and I think they said he had heart-related issues. That was kind of secret code for COVID at the time.
Wow.
Let me look it up.
It's horrible.
Pancreatic cancer.
Okay, I don't know.
All right.
He died during COVID. You had to assume anyone who died during the COVID era, it was like, oh, maybe it wasn't true. But pancreatic cancer, why would he be on it just like that?
Got to make money.
I guess it's fast moving.
It's like,
why wouldn't he be? Like, someone
Chadwick Boseman, he was making movies till he died, right?
Yeah.
All right. So next up, there's
Stanford
Samantha.
Forever.
Oh, we talked about Carrie. I sort of had some stuff about the like when they spend a few days apart. Okay, I feel like they took out like 3 scenes of this movie. So this movie would have been like 3 hours long, because at one part, Big is like, hey, remember that time when we spent a few nights apart? And it was the scene right after they spent 2 nights apart. Do you guys remember that at all?
We're just time jumping a bunch, but yeah, that's probably an edit, I would guess. This is a weird thing to do. And
why was Aiden in this movie?
Because
just because we wanted to see Aiden again?
Yeah, because Aiden rules.
He's a movie star.
Want to see Aiden, and I'm going to tell you right now. Get ready. He's about to.
What? But wait, I've got more. Oh, he is? All right. But I want to say something else about Aiden.
Yep.
In this movie, he's on like a business trip with these like Abu Dhabi billionaires.
Yep.
And wasn't he a carpenter?
He is a carpenter. Yeah, he says it in the movie that he sold his business,
So was
and now
Jesus.
he's there for fabric for his chairs. I guess he was.
Why?
He was a chair designer.
What chair design?
This is New York City. People pay a lot for a chair. I mean, if Carrie's gonna like sit in a chair,
It's not
you know
like fucking Aiden was some kind of
$25,000.
tireless self-promoter. He just seemed like a guy who made chairs.
Dan, didn't you watch Beef? Isn't like the whole the husband's dad is a chair designer, right? Like they wanted the
Yeah,
boss.
but here's
wanted
the
to buy
thing.
his
Here's the
chair.
thing nobody wants to admit about Beef is that's not very good either.
What are you even talking about? Somebody designed chairs?
Yeah.
We're talking about chairs here.
All right.
Look at Logan.
Anyway.
He's probably standing right now recording a podcast.
Logan bad chair.
All right. Carrie also has a subplot where she meets one of her butler. She leaves a bunch of money for him so he can go and see his wife back in
hate
India.
that. I hate that.
Oh, she's so nice.
That's like white lady fucking
Privilege.
virtues. Yeah, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, it was nice though. Would you rather her not do that?
Yes.
I would rather we not learn about the butler's sad life.
Yeah, cut that.
I would
out. That could
rather
be
we
cut.
don't go to Abu Dhabi in a Sex and the City movie.
I'm telling
you
you,
gonna fund the
This is
movie?
the only Sex and the City movie that it's 2.5 hours. There's no sex. There's no city.
the city is
Is there
Abu
no
Dhabi.
sex? Yes, there is
Bro.
at the end on the beach. On the beach.
Just Samantha,
Samantha.
Oh,
Yeah,
at
sex
the
on the-
very, very end. Yes.
and Miranda.
we get a camel
Bush.
toe at one point.
Yeah, we do see.
Oh my god, that was
that was such a horrible
stupid.
joke too. It's like,
It's
you have a camel toe. And
Yeah,
she's like,
because they're
"Ugh."
on a camel. There's so many terrible jokes in this movie. Like, there's bad jokes all throughout. Like, Sex and the City loves puns and shit, but it's
Yeah.
always treated like, we make puns. We're
Yeah.
fucking dumb.
It's
Like,
always Samantha like
Lawrence of My Labia.
overselling it, so it's funny. Yeah, like Lawrence of My Labia is such a Samantha thing, but like Samantha would be like, "Oh, you guys, I'm coming," like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what Samantha would do, and you get it that she's like being way over the top. These are like, what I think is hilarious is like at one point Carrie makes one of her dumb jokes, and then one of them's like, "Oh, you made one of your little jokes," and I'm like, Carrie's jokes are the worst. And I'm going to tell you right now, you watched the first episode and just like that, it's so crazy how big a prude Carrie, a woman who's written a sex column her whole life, is. She's like,
point.
I can't believe she's like, Big, do you jack off? And he's like, well, yeah. It's like, yeah, no shit, he jacks off. Big probably jacks off right before he records. the
Fair
podcast,
question.
too.
What do you
he
mean?
jacks off on the Peloton.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like that's a fair
What?
question to ask your husband if they jack off or not.
it's a crazy question not to know that when you're married as long or has been together as
Tim,
long.
how often do you jack off?
Not enough. A fair amount.
Not enough.
No, I said enough.
Oh.
I thought you said
You
not
jack
enough.
off a fair amount with 3 kids and a wife? Where do you find the time? Where do you find the place? Do you just like duck out in the middle of dinner, go to the bathroom, jack off, come back?
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I left the potatoes in the oven. I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm jacking off in the middle of dinner. That's where. That's
Yeah,
when
you're
I'm
like,
choosing
I
to jack
forgot milk. I'll run out.
Oh,
But
yeah,
meanwhile, he
yeah,
didn't
it's-
forget milk. It's in the car, and then he goes out to the car and just
Yeah,
jacks off.
exactly. I just
Comes
jack.
back
I jack
with
off
the
in the
milk.
Comes
car.
in with spoiled,
Yeah, into the milk.
disgusting milk and baking in the sun.
All I'm saying is like, what a weird relationship they have that like she doesn't know that he jacks off. He's never jerked off in front of her.
I thought
once.
that was a fair
He-
question.
She told him jerk off in front of me, and like he's like, wow, it's like, oh, we're getting crazy. That's the most kinky thing they've done. This is the Sex and the City movie.
Yeah, Carrie Bradshaw does anal.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't
Alright,
take the A train.
But she should. She's the fucking sex. Like, who does? Anal's a dime a dozen these days.
Well, back then, I think there's a whole episode about anal, if I remember the series properly. Of course, like I know Samantha would bring it up, and everyone else would like drop their mouths. And I think Miranda is the only other one who's like, "Yeah, I tried."
Yeah, she seems like it. Next up, next up was Charlotte.
Do you think Che does anal with a strap
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Alright.
I mean, spoiler alert: there is strap-on stuff in season 2.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, so Charlotte, I mean, she has this baby, Rose, and she's got a nanny that doesn't wear a bra.
Yeah, that nanny. Do you remember when she was like in a lot of stuff for a second?
I know her from one movie.
What movie do you know her from?
That Chris Evans movie, Before We Go.
Yeah, but she was also in like a couple Neil LaBute movies. I think she shows up in like one of the Star Trek movies, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. She was like all over the place for like I feel like Hollywood tried to make her a star for a couple years.
Oh, yeah. Logan liked this storyline, huh?
What do you mean?
Logan's got to go get some milk right now, Daniel.
Oh, Logan just likes her because she was in Bombshell.
I didn't know that. And then at the end, she's like, I gotta get gifts for my family. I didn't get them anything my whole trip. So we gotta go in this warehouse with these people selling me watches. That was a plot that they added.
I like how this story resolves where it's like, and Charlotte was no longer threatened because it turns out the nanny was into girls. Like that wouldn't make her husband, hotter for her, right? Like that Harry's jacking it all the time to the lesbian hot nanny now.
Harry's 100% thinking about
chasing
the hot
Aaron.
nanny while he's boning Charlotte. She shouldn't feel great about that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Anyway, next up, Miranda. I thought Miranda had sucked in this. Not that she sucked. I thought she had nothing in this movie. Like she's like, my boss sucks, so I quit my job, and then she like goes to her kid's science fair and she sees her kid win, and then at the end she like gets a better job. It's like, what? That's her entire story, this movie.
Well, as somebody who just got a job and wants to kill himself, I was very resentful about watching a movie about a woman who like just really wanted to work. Like fucking take what
but
you
she did
can.
What she did what she loved.
Let Magda watch your fucking kid.
Yeah.
Magda, isn't she the other one? Isn't she Charlotte?
No, Magda is Miranda's nanny, and she's great, and she's.
Oh, that's
awesome
I thought that was probably Steve's mom or somebody.
No, Steve's mom died.
Oh, how?
Yeah, that's right. AIDS.
Oh.
It's surprising Samantha doesn't have AIDS, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely like felt the burn before, but never full blown.
A few more notes that I got. Daniel's favorite song, that Alicia Keys New York song, plays twice in
oh my god,
that's my favorite song.
The second he has. Well, I have to tell you this, Logan. Dan has private texted me out of our DM or our
just
text
lyrics from
chain.
this song.
Yeah, he just has written me, "Hey Tim, my favorite song's this New York by Alicia Keys," and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I already know that. I don't know why.
Why would I say that when the song's called "Empire State of Mind"?
Exactly.
He's such a fan. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Listen,
hey, by the way,
I don't know why. Like, I should be embarrassed. That is a good song. It's just far from my favorite song of all time.
You're the one that feels. I'm not making you embarrassed. You feel embarrassed.
I remember the summer that song came out. It was everywhere in New York.
Yeah, of course,
you'd walk down the street.
It was in your iPod. It was in your playlist. It was on your computer.
Coming from cars. And just like on the street, like it was in the air of New York. It was kind of a beautiful little summer.
This is like the fourth time we said this exact same thing about this song on this podcast.
And Time Out New York ranked it the #1 best New York song of all time, beating New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, which I was appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Miley Cyrus is in this movie, which I thought was pretty fun.
It's funny that they call her like teen queen Miley Cyrus. She hasn't been that in a long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's funny. I would just say that was
Wrecking
cool.
Ball.
Yeah,
she
this
was more
is very much pre-Wrecking Ball. This is like Party in the USA. Miley
this is
Cyrus.
Hannah Montana. Yeah. This is on the end of Hannah Montana.
Maybe.
Yeah. And
both worlds, baby.
Penelope Cruz also makes an appearance.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was doing.
I don't know why she didn't play herself. Like she plays some other person, and doesn't Big flirt with her? That's the whole thing. Is like,
yeah,
Carrie's up threatened or
she's
whatever.
talking about like getting it up, but it's the stocks.
Yeah, but
then,
like he just wanted to stay in. Carrie forces him to come out to this terrible party with her.
The TV.
And then like he tries to make the best of it, then she gets mad at him. She's awful.
Yeah. Also, what's funny is he's like, hey, you didn't have a problem with me getting flirted with at the gay wedding. Another reason to say gay wedding.
Yeah. All right, and a Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens reference. You ready for this?
What the fuck?
They say we're not in Kansas anymore.
Good one. That was good.
Thanks. I'll give it 1 star.
Yeah.
Anything else to talk about? Not really.
There's gotta be.
Really? We talked about every plot.
No. I want to talk about, because what I think about when I think about this movie is the whole end bit. They're running.
They run out of money.
When they're running away from those fucking guys who are like, I guess, going to chop their heads off or something.
They're gonna stone them to death. They're like getting ready to throw rocks at them. And
then they run into a woman with a burqa. The movie's been shitting on burqas the entire fucking movie.
Oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
And then she like pulls them into a thing, and like all of a sudden, all the women with burqas reveal that they're like the secret fashion society of Abu Dhabi, and they all take their burqas off to reveal beautiful American designer clothing.
Yeah,
it is fucking.
You guys said clothes aren't that much part of the show, though.
They're really not.
I mean, Carrie is always wearing
the show is known. The show is known for them wearing like fancy clothing and shit, but they never really talked about it that much on the show.
So if you were dressing up for Halloween as Carrie, Miranda, Samantha, Charlotte.
If you were Carrie,
what would you wear?
You'd wear that tutu. You'd wear the tutu.
The tutu with the tank top from the opening. Mm-hmm. If you were
Miranda, you'd wear a business suit.
Yeah, pantsuit. Charlotte would be like a really pristine dress
with pearls.
Yeah, with pearls for sure. And Samantha just kind of had like a business suit also, right? Like
Samantha, you just go fucking naked
dress.
Yeah.
Sushi dress. Yeah,
I did like that moment. You're right. That was a funny moment.
But so after that, when they're like, okay, these women are obviously great because they respect American fashion culture. So what do we do now? Then they lend them their burqas. And the shot I think of anytime Sex and the City 2 comes up is the 4 of them peeking their little burqa heads out from behind that fucking wall. And it is like they're the fucking mystery machine. It is ridiculous.
It's so stupid. And then there's the part where
and then they start saying like, we gotta hurry, we don't want to lose our first class tickets and end up in coach.
Yeah, that's the main conflict.
Fucking kidding me? Like, it's not even that you'll miss your flight, you don't want to end up in coach, you pieces of shit.
They go the main conflict is they went from possibly being murdered to we don't want to ride in coach on the way. That would be worse.
At first, it was if they didn't get out in time, they'd have to pay $22,000, which I understand the panic there. But
I'm going to tell you this, though, Logan.
I don't know. Maybe they should get Big to fucking pay the $22,000. It'd be a drop in the water.
Yeah, Carrie isn't infinitely rich. Like Carrie has so much money that they could have stayed the rest of the trip, and Carrie could have covered the bill, no problem.
I would argue also if she has infinite money.
I would because she just needs something to do. Her husband died.
She had the podcast before he died.
Yeah, because newspapers and magazines and books don't exist anymore, so they had to give her a different job.
Fine.
I bet in the world of and just like that, she gets paid like $60,000 an episode to do a podcast or something stupid.
She's like Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
I don't think Sex and the City should ever leave New York City. It should always be in the fucking city. You know, if they go somewhere else, it should be like the Hamptons or something. All right, because I never liked it. I hate that the last 2 episodes of the TV series take place in Paris. There's no need for that.
You'd be so mad at some of the Jersey Shore seasons.
Fuck off. It's annoying that in the first movie they go to Mexico, and then like half this movie takes place in Abu Dhabi. It's Sex in the City. 50% of that title is New York City.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is like what Adam Sandler does, where like they want to all go on a vacation together, but also work. And I really think that the United Emirates paid for 90% of this movie. Like,
I also think
I
that
don't blame them for making it.
Michael Patrick King loves probably those like old Bob Hope, like the Road to Morocco kind of movies, and he wants to do something like that.
This movie ends with the end title credit of that old black and white movie. That's so crazy, right? Like they end up watching it on the TV, but it's not even that big TV. It's like a little tiny TV. Like what the hell? Because they like staying in her apartment.
What about when she shows her leg to get the cab in Abu Dhabi?
That is
Loved
freaking
it.
Bugs Bunny. That is a Bugs Bunny.
It is Bugs Bunny.
God, what a freaking.
This movie's
star.
a disaster. I
I'll
hate
give it 1
everything
star,
about
too.
I gave it 0 stars.
Oh my god, the first ever 0-star movie.
Wow.
Is this the first
You do
movie, worst movie you've ever covered? You said bottom 10 movie ever. Have you ever covered any other ones?
I think this is the worst movie we've
Fletch
covered on the
Lives? Is
podcast.
it worse than Fletch Lives?
This is much worse than Fletch Lives.
Much worse. I don't know about that.
Yeah. And it's more racist than Fletch Lives. And that movie takes place on a plantation.
I like the one part where they're like, "Oh, she's got a French fry. How's she gonna eat this one?" And she like goes under the
Oh my god, yes. Oh, they're like, oh, she's got to do that for every fry. Like, yes, people exist outside of New York City. Jesus.
All right, my MVP, Sarah Jessica Parker. What do you guys
Oh
got?
my god.
I think she's really great with her eyes. She like really
I
really
gotta go,
sincere.
I gotta go with Samantha, I guess.
Which one was the sushi? That's the first movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Samantha does nothing in this too, which is unfortunate. Like she says Lawrence of my labia, which I think is the best part.
You know, yeah, when that first happened, when she saw that dude like on the horse in the desert or whatever, I was like, ooh, Samantha should say Lawrence of a baby. But then it was even better. Lawrence of a labia.
I also thought there was a really interesting moment with Samantha, knowing that she has been with women before in the show, when she's the one who notices the nanny's braless figure, and she reacts like she's horny for the nanny as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, good for Samantha. I like this.
I thought she was jealous, maybe that there was somebody like sexier than her. Like she wasn't the sexy one.
No, I don't think she's like that, to be honest. She doesn't have to be the sexiest person.
Oh, that's what I thought. But all right, LVP.
I'll say Big's the MVP. I hadn't given mine yet.
He's kind of like a nothing. Oh, we didn't even talk about Aiden. Did we care that Carrie kissed
I liked
Aiden?
him
I don't understand why Aiden's in the movie.
because
It's driving
that
me
guy is in
nuts.
movies. That guy's a movie actor. So they put
No,
him in
he's
a movie.
not. He's a TV actor.
He's in
John
like My
Cor-
Big Fat
Since
Greek
when is
Wedding and
John
stuff.
Corbett a movie star? He's
Big
the
Fat
star of
Greek Wedding.
United States of Terror on Showtime.
Yeah,
and he was the dad
Northern
in 12
Exposure.
Boys I've Loved Before. That's a movie. All 3 of them.
That's barely a movie. It premiered on television.
on
Logan's got you
Netflix.
there. He's
Like
he's
The
named
Irishman.
3
That's
movies.
barely a movie.
Yeah. Why do you think they're promoting Killers of the Flower Moon like only available in theaters? Because he's embarrassed by what happened with the Irishman.
Come on. Why would he be embarrassed? I was nominated for Best Picture.
Who's your LVP though? Like,
I wrote down Liza and I wrote down Miranda.
Oh my God, Lies is a good choice.
I gotta go
Liza's
Liza,
a
though.
great choice.
That was your MVP, Tim. You said earlier.
I said,
Hey,
as a
what about
joke.
when they do karaoke in Abu Dhabi?
What,
Oh my god, about like America. Or
Oh my God,
like
I
the
am
Americans
woman,
or
hear me
something.
You know
roar.
what I started doing? You know what I started?
Yeah.
I got bored halfway through the movie, and I started finding songs on my Spotify, and I would score them to the movie. I'd mute the movie, and I would play songs over them. So, like,
What?
for
Why?
instance, do you remember the part? Do you remember the part where Carrie's like depressed, and this lady is like walking her through the desert with like an umbrella?
yeah,
Okay.
you played
I
Empire State of Mind, right?
No, I paused the movie and I played this. Well, I you can't even hear it. Just
No.
It's New York. Concrete jungles are made for.
come on.
I don't
Wait,
even
hang
hear
on,
anything.
hang on. Yeah, you can't hear. But Logan, can you just play "Missing" by Everything But the Girl at this point?
Probably, I
It's
won't
that
do
song.
that.
And I miss you like the deserts miss the rain.
Oh, so you would play them according to the scene. You would sort of switch up the songs.
yeah.
and-
So
All right.
yeah, sometimes it would be like they're having like a nice friends night out, you know? So I would play maybe a little something like this.
Concrete jungles are made for.
What is going on? Why can't we hear anything?
Yeah, why can't you play songs anymore?
I'm trying to. I'm playing "Friend Like Me" from Aladdin.
Can't hear it.
Is this a commercial?
Yeah, he was playing a commercial. He had to log out of his Spotify so that Empire State of Mind didn't immediately play.
Full of shit.
Oh my gosh. All right. So there is that the movie. Should we move on to the end just like that?
Yeah, we
We have
got
13
to.
minutes left until Tim has to go. All right, we ready? And just like that, let's talk about this show.
And just like that, we watched 4 Sex in the City things. Did you say you're LVP for the Sex in the City 2?
You guys. No, I'll go with I don't know. That guy Samantha wanted to fuck. I don't care.
Why was he bad? He was fine.
I
I
didn't
thought
like
about all the
anything.
people in Abu Dhabi. I'm gonna go with the burqa fashionistas. Well,
Did you like the one guy who was gay? The one like there was they all had their own butler.
Oh,
but one of them
wait.
was gay.
Oh my god!
How about the part where in the first movie when she's auditioning assistants and that one Asian dude is wearing pink heels?
Yeah, and like, is that why he didn't get the job? Because he got the heels? Because that felt homophobic to me. Like Carrie's like, nope, I need this imaginary
No,
black
Carrie
woman.
was just like, I already
Yeah.
have I have my one gay friend. I don't have a one black friend yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't, and I have 0 Asian friends, so no, thank you.
Yeah.
Has there ever been an Asian character on Sex and the
Yeah,
City?
Lily's Asian. Lily's
Oh
Asian.
yeah, you're right.
That's like Modern Family.
Lily's Asian. Yeah,
They're one.
I think her name's Lily on Modern Family. Also,
that's why I said that. Yes.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's her actual name in Sex and the City. Also,
Yeah.
that's weird. That's a weird thing.
yeah, I agree.
Adopted Asian daughters are named Lily. Is that a stereotype?
I think it is.
All right, my number one favorite character here, Samantha. Great job not showing up. I applaud you. I think that
She
was
made
great.
the right call. By the way, Logan, in the first season, I want to let you know that Samantha texts Carrie at one moment. You get to see a text from Samantha. She's continually referenced. They don't just like move on from her. They reference her.
I
and
actually appreciate that.
and she
You know what
sends
they should do?
flowers to Big's funeral.
She should call Carrie, and Carrie should answer and be like, hello? And then they should start a Samantha spinoff. And in that, we should see Samantha call her.
That's a good call, dude. Just like
I
the
think that would be
Angel
really
pilot.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be good. Actually,
right.
Samantha's busy telling someone about how she met your father right now, right? Like,
Oh, she's in
Oh
that.
my god, dude! I'm halfway through the
That's
second
Hilary
season
Duff.
of that show. That is the worst. Like we're saying, like, oh, fucking Kim Cattrall, she has so much integrity for not doing it just like that. Like, How I Met Your Father is another reboot of like a classic show, and it's even fucking worse.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kim Cattrall is the mother, or is the main character in that,
Yeah.
but the old version, Logan.
And it
She's,
takes and her scenes take place in the future.
yeah, and she's in it.
I like
Unlike in How I Met Your Father, we never saw
How
what's
I
his
Met Your
name?
Mother. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
oh,
see
yeah.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Yeah,
Yeah. You never?
never once. No, and even in the future version, you end up seeing the guy who played Ted Mosby just with gray hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Josh Rayner?
yeah. The final episode, because he's
Radner.
like, And he's like, and that's how I met your mother. And then the kids are like, yeah, but your story's about how you're horny for our aunt. And he's like, I am horny for your aunt, your aunt. And then he gets with Robin at the end.
Spoilers for fucking how there was no reason to fucking spoil that show on this podcast.
There's a Lily on that too. Isn't Willow's name Lily?
That's a good point.
Whoa!
No many
She's not
Lilies.
adopted though. She's not adopted.
No, I guess not. I like that one episode where we go see Jason Segel's family and they're all giant hockey players.
I
Remember that?
love that episode. It's a Thanksgiving episode from the first
Yeah.
season.
That's a
Dan,
great
do you
episode.
know Dan, do you know who Marshall's dad is?
Yeah. I mean, I could picture him. Why?
Yeah, he's the voice of Patrick Star, of course, from SpongeBob
Oh,
SquarePants.
right.
That's
Faggerbacky. Yeah.
All right.
right.
So, by the way, they said like Samantha and Carrie, like Samantha was doing PR for Carrie, but then they had a falling out, and that's
Yeah.
why they're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they kind of did Kim Cattrall dirty to be like, she wanted too much money and we begged her to come and she wouldn't. They kind of like basically say that about her character. My favorite part of And Just Like That is the very first line is like, remember when we used to have to legally stand 6 feet apart?
I hated all this COVID.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it goes COVID right away. I forgot about that.
There's so
This
much of it.
This came out still in the middle of like COVID, and so they wanted to establish that like, oh, COVID's over in the
so
And Just
much
Like
of that shit has aged so poorly.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. You want to see something hilarious is watch the COVID season of Law and Order SVU. And it's
God.
it's like Marisha Hargitay being like, remember to wear a mask at the end of each scene. It's so funny.
Dude,
Ice-T.
watch the COVID
Ice-T.
season of Grey's Anatomy. That like Miranda, not Miranda, fucking Meredith
Oh.
Grey. She literally got COVID, and like half the episodes are about her like coma dreams in like COVID land.
What
Wow,
is-
that's pretty cool.
What does Che do during that season of Grey's Anatomy?
She
'Cause, of
left
course,
long before that.
oh, dang. Or they left, right?
Oh,
No, it
come
was
on.
a she on that show.
Oh, okay.
You made a joke
Well-
about Juno earlier.
Yeah, come on.
What?
Be
But-
consistent with your transfer.
he's a man. He's always been a man.
I don't understand what's different here.
What are you talking about? Wait, the character
He's
is
giving you
the-
a hard time.
is
Dad.
the actress Jessica Ramirez non-binary?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was just playing that on the show. Oh, I guess you can't do that anymore, right? If you
No,
like,
yeah. I think they are non-binary. So
Yeah. But there are still actors that play gay roles, right? Stuff like that.
Logan, let me
Yeah,
tell you
it's
about
frowned
this. Che.
upon.
Let me tell you this, Che. No one liked Che ever once. No one said a good thing about Che. Of course, Sex in the City comes in swinging. It's also comes out post Floyd BLM stuff. So what do? They're just like, we gotta make Miranda really racist in this one scene, and we got to introduce a bunch of characters of color, which is great. But
Is
everybody's
great?
boring. I mean, it's good they're doing it. It's bad how they did it.
Has Michael Patrick King ever spent any time with any black people?
I
'Cause
guarantee
it doesn't.
no.
That's not what it comes across in the writing.
Yeah, so the guy from Hamilton is the husband of the one
Lin-Manuel
lady who's the
Miranda?
the guy who plays the Washington in Hamilton is the husband of the one lady who they're all like really impressed with because she's a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't gonna throw away his shot to marry her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Another
That's the only
Sharknado 4
reference I know. Good
Yeah.
Well,
point.
it might be 5 or 6, actually. I don't remember.
I think it's all of them.
Yeah, it's all the late ones. Yeah.
Big jacks off, which is really funny. It's like my favorite moment of the whole show is. And then he like half-heartedly like he's like, I'm an old man, I need lube, and it's like, what is that real?
I
Like,
thought he was funny in that whole scene, the way he was like, the way he was doing it and the way he acted. I thought it was pretty
he's funny because he's really good because he knows he's like one and done. I'm out of this piece of shit.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
you're right. He is playing it like that. You can sort of tell. I actually did learn something about him that I like. Like one of his little things is he put all of his albums in alphabetical order and they listen to them. That seems
It seems like a you thing.
something that
I
would do.
love
Yeah.
that. It
So I
does
really
seem like
liked
something
that.
I would do too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
made me like him a little more before he died.
Yeah.
But
That's a
I
COVID
just
thing they
laughed too
did.
hard at the end of the episode. It's too funny.
That's a COVID thing, by the way. Miranda's an alcoholic because of COVID as well. She had to sit at the bar for 5 minutes before they.
Oh, I
serve-
forgot about that. Yeah. Oh God, I fucking hate that show.
During
I'm so
COVID, she
glad I
picked
didn't
up-
rewatch it.
Get excited for
Drinking?
season 2, Dan. You get to see some AA action.
Alpha Academy.
Yeah, Alpha Academy. Yep. Shush. Is what Miranda says.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yep.
well, what else happened? I'm out with this show.
Do you like the podcast? We talked about the podcast.
Oh, I got
What
something.
about?
IMDb
God.
thing.
Oh,
What
what do you
about-
got?
Ooh, go for it.
I told you 7 out of 94 of Sex and the City are above an 8. 2 out of 16 are above a 7.
Oh, and
Not
just like
very
that.
good. Yes.
No one
Uh,
likes this show.
I think there
Tim
was.
does.
I love this show. I think it's my favorite show, to be honest.
You like
And
Bobby
I'm
Lee? You haven't talked about
I'm
him?
gonna tell you, rewatching the pilot of the first one just made me want to rewatch the whole first season again because it is just the greatest disaster. And
When does the
I'm
new
gonna
season
tell
come out? You and Daniel
it's
can start
currently-
podcasting about it.
Season 2 is currently airing. I begged Dan to watch it with me so I could just text and talk to him about it, but he's gonna do his thing where he has to watch it all in the weekend, and it won't seem as bad because he just tortured himself by watching these. Also, Sex and the City was 30-minute show, Logan, and they turned and just like that into 50 minutes. There's like it's inconsistent. The show's never been less than 40 minutes, so pretty
Yeah.
great.
That's just what they do these days. All right, we learned. Oh, Steve has hearing aids. Did we talk about that?
He's old. Yep, they're old.
They're all old. I did like Miranda's thing. How she lets her hair go gray.
Yeah, but it's a big deal to her, and she's like complaining. Did we lose Dan?
I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he
you
just
didn't
did.
really. You forgot about it. Okay. So you just have all of the first season. All I know, Dan, is so far they kind of at one point in the movies, I think they mentioned Trey, right? Like I was like, oh, well, I
Well,
wonder if Tom
at the
McLaughlin's gonna
beginning,
ever show up.
of the first Sex and the City movie, they do like a previously on Sex and the City where we
Yeah.
see scenes from the show.
That was like Mission Impossible movie where I was like, is this old stuff or new stuff? Are we seeing the end of the movie in the beginning? No. No, but I thought it was interesting because I'm like, oh, I hope they should bring Trey back to end just like that. Kyle McLaughlin is still working. He's great. But in the first movie, they say like, yeah, I wanted to be friends with my ex, but Trey didn't want that. And I was like, oh, does that mean we're never going to see Trey again? Okay. But fortunately, you can check out How I Met Your Mother. He plays the captain in that.
By the way, you can also check out How I Met Your Father, where he reprises the role of
the captain's
captain.
back is
Wow.
oh my god, he gets cucked by Ted Mosby and just like or How I Met Your Mother. Oh my
Mother, God
too many
damn
shows. Too many shows. I'm sorry. We're talking about 4 different shows at this point.
You know what they
Yeah.
could have done here with Samantha, since they look into the camera on this show? They could have done that thing that they do in the start of Fuller House, where they're like, "Well, Michelle didn't want to show up."
Run! It's time to run through them. Fuller House reference. Let's hear a 13 Reasons Why. Let's hear a Zach and Cody.
I feel like you
for
reference
it.
them more than I do. To TBH.
Yeah.
But and then they all look into the camera like Michelle's not here. They could have done that with this show, but they didn't do that.
I
mean,
read that.
Dan's getting.
I read that Kimmy Gibbler and Jodie Sweetin are starting a Full House rewatch podcast.
I just saw
Nice.
that also.
Yeah. Did you just say you just subscribed to that?
No, I just saw that news today.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are we done? 1 star.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
MVP
just like
Sarah
that?
Jessica Parker.
No, and
LVP
just like that.
Che.
I give it
MVP
2
Che, LVP Che, also. And I give it 6 stars.
Makes up for that
Just
0 that you gave.
Dan,
Yeah.
Dan, Just wait till you see Chase Pilot. I am so excited for
She
you
has
to
a
watch
pilot
Chase
in the-
Pilot.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Chase
She's-
Pilot.
As
da-
you know, she writes incredible jokes.
Her dad, their dad is played by Tony Danza, so
Wow.
it's exciting.
Is his
I
name
give-
Tony?
He plays Tony Danza. Yep. I will give this 2 stars. I love hate it. I will say the MVP is Samantha for being mentioned
Yeah.
and not coming back. The LVP has got to be. I think the Peloton instructor was pretty bad.
I think the
Oh,
MVP is the Peloton.
I think the MVP is Big jacking off.
And the LVP is
Why does he have the Peloton in his bathroom?
Miranda's ugly son.
Ooh, Miranda's ugly son is
Was
pretty
he the one kissing in
bad.
church?
Yeah, and he's the one she stepped on one of his used condoms.
Do you know what the original when they thought Samantha was going to be in the show? Her original plot line was going to be that Miranda's son keeps sexting her.
Awesome. That would
Yeah.
be great. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's good.
amazing.
I like that.
They should reveal that's been happening the whole time.
I completely agree.
Yeah, that would still be
That's so
good.
good. That's so good.
All right.
Behave.
There we go. What are we doing next week, Daniel?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'll tell you what we're doing. Wait, how many of them are there? Have we figured that out?
2,
8.
Boss Baby and Boss Baby 2.
Shut the front
I think there are
door.
Oh, wait,
6.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's a very
There's a
good
cartoon.
approximation.
6 real live
You're the
action
troll.
films and a Bumblebee. So
Start screaming.
8 total.
Twilight. So there's 8 total. Okay, so next week on the show we're gonna start. Speaking of Elliot Page, the Transformers.
Oh.
And
my God.
what?
Oh my god.
What?
Hey,
They're robots, but they identify as cars.